So at the Wednesday, November 6th Planning Commission meeting, the Commission made a recommendation to approve a staff-initiated text amendment to allow a small-scale solar system and a community-scale solar system on a wooded lot that is less than 10 acres in size. As a result, the item is now forwarded to the City Council, who will decide whether to approve the item, disapprove the item, or approve the item with additional standards. The proposed text amendment is being brought forward to you for two reasons. Number one, because it's a significant project, because there is a significant project looming that was inappropriately approved despite a clear conflict in the code over a year ago by the city's planning commission. And number two, because the staff feels as if the benefits of the proposed text amendment outweigh any negatives, so long as appropriate parameters are applied. The proposal will impact the first two of the four types of solar energy systems that are currently outlined in our city's Unified Development Code. And this includes the small-scale solar energy system and the community solar energy system. A small-scale solar energy system is located on the property that will receive the solar energy. So it's literally, if I put solar panels up on my roof, it must utilize less than 1 acre of land, is often installed on the rooftop of a residential house or a non-residential building, has a rooftop capacity of less than 200 kilowatts, and if installed on the ground, may be of any generating capacity and size. And a community solar energy system is an off-site type of solar system that most often provides power to and may be owned by the residents of the Cambridge community. Customers located within the geographic area may subscribe to and receive energy that is produced by the community solar system. Residents who are unable to install panels on their own property due to roof constraints, ownership status, or financial considerations can still benefit from the program. And finally, in Maryland, at least 30 to 40% of the output of such a project must serve low to moderate income residents. So we feel like that's a very good thing. In addition, the City of Cambridge has adopted a provision that states that no more than 350 acres shall be approved within the incorporated limits of the city for either a medium-scale solar energy system, a large-scale solar energy system, or a community solar energy system. As a result of that, two projects are well on their way through the development review process. So if these two projects are reviewed, the city will only have about 25 acres left of the maximum 350 acres that are remaining for future solar fields. So there's not a lot of, land left unless we were to amend the ordinance to a higher number than 350 acres. So below, and this is kind of the meat of the whole thing, below you're going to find the standards for the conditional and special exception uses. These provisions are specific to Cambridge and were approved by the City Council. And I'll just give you an example. There are other cities on the eastern shore of Maryland that already allow solar to occupy a wooded lot. And so therefore I'm going to skip to number 5 on the next page, which has the proposed text amendment. And this is actually what the Planning Commission proposed. So the language says, solar energy systems shall not be located on the state's scenic byways or on mostly wooded lots. And what they proposed was to cross out on mostly wooded lots, and then add the text that says, medium and large-scale solar energy systems shall not be located on mostly wooded lots. Small-scale and community solar energy systems may be located on mostly wooded lots, subject to the following. Letter A, any clearing of trees shall comply with the city's forest conservation ordinance or the model forest conservation ordinance set forth in COMAR 18-19-03-01, whichever is stricter. And letter B, in no event shall the total clearing of trees exceed 10 acres in size. And then, so therefore, given the amendment that I've read, the staff believes the City Council should adhere to the recommendation by the Planning Commission to approve the proposed text amendment as conveyed. I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
We just keep talking about taking trees down, and I just want to let the public know that there are far more benefits to trees than just having to break trees. But the real question I had is, it sounds like you've attempted to add more restriction to the ability to clear cut a wooded lot for solar, because it's sort of, that's the real risk, particularly with, I know there is an area within Cambridge, I've heard rumor that it's been wooded for years, and that was a potential target. Is that what the attempt is here, is to just prevent us from clear cutting woods for large scale projects within the city limits, and then also, yes.
Yes, I mean, that was definitely the gist of our conversation during the planning commission meeting was, you know, should we limit the size of if we're going to allow clearing of a wooded lot, how much should we allow? And, you know, we have a number of folks on the commission that were concerned about that, and so we decided on the 10 acres as sort of a maximum amount. I will say that this item is coming forward because of a little bit of an issue that happened with about a year and a half ago with the planning commission. They approved a proposal sort of prematurely before they should have. The proposal went forward, has been doing all their work and everything to come forward. They've actually come forward to us and are ready to move forward with their proposal. And then they found out that they're not allowed to do it on a wooded lot. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't know that already. The staff at the previous meeting a year and a half ago said that they were going to update the ordinance. They never did. So we're kind of in a little bit of a pickle because we have this proposal coming forward that wants to go ahead and get going, and we don't have the text that actually allows it to do it. So we were trying to reach a compromise with our text by saying, all right, we'll allow it on a wooded lot, but we're only going to allow 10 acres. We did look at other ordinances in the area, other cities, and we felt like we were actually being a little more restrictive than some. So
basically, if somebody found 10 acres in the city limits of woods, they could cut it down and put solar panels on it right now.
yeah, I mean, they'd have to. I mean, so there's only about 25 acres left in the. But yes, you're correct that they still have to meet the forest conservation ordinance, which does require replanting. So it's at a 2-to-1 requirement. So basically, they're going to have to replant at a 2-to-1 standard. So, I mean, we're going to get more trees ultimately out of it, but you were right. In short, I mean, yes, a lot could be cleared. It would be replanted either there or somewhere else, either as part of the buffer that goes around the site or somewhere else on the site or somewhere else in the city. But yeah, you're correct. Someone could clear a lot.
Thank you for working on this, but this raises all kinds of alarm bells to me that we would fill our city up with solar panels instead of housing and livable things. I'm all for solar, but I think small-scale solar, community solar, solar panels on roofs, they all make sense. But this institutional solar that's happening is, by all intents and purposes, not for the benefit of our citizens. It's actually being funded by outside sources. They come in, they want payment in lieu of taxes, so they're not. We would be removing taxable land from our tax base in lieu of a predictable payment for the outside investment. Farmland's been being eaten up by this large-scale institutional solar, and 10 acres just seems like a lot to piece by piece within our city limits to dedicate to solar when we don't have a whole lot of buildable land in Dorchester County in the first place. I mean, again, they're find me a bigger proponent of solar. You won't, but institutional solar sizes within the city limits is a problem. I mean, 350 acres. I mean, that just seems absurd to me, and I don't want us to write legislation because someone has proposed a project that we're trying to fit into the city limits. I think this definitely warrants more discussion, because if we want to do anything, we should be writing legislation to allow homeowners by right, particularly in the historic district, to install solar. I've seen solar installations turned down because the commission wasn't happy with the way they looked. That's a problem, and community solar, particularly in our low-income areas, is something we should be advocating for. But institutional solar, to me, it removes very good land from the tax base It sounds like they want to put it on cheap land, which is probably land that hasn't been developed on because it's non-tidal wetlands or woodland, and difficult to develop. And I just think that larger scale type project within the city limits we need to be wary of. And I'm not talking about Egypt Road. That's a very large scale development that is.
No, but I can actually speak to this project that started this whole thing, which we'll probably be sued over if we don't make this change, just so you're aware. I mean, that would be my guess. But
This is an important issue. Maybe you all could talk afterwards.
My name is Gary Gordy, 507 High Street, Cambridge, Maryland. I have a quick question that I just want to put on record. When we did the application for the election, I was wondering, I had to go through so much to get approved, and I was just wondering, did everybody had to go through the same thing I had to go through as far as getting stuff signed, notarized, and all that type of stuff? I just wanted for the record.
I don't want to speak too much about your packet. You provided a affidavit.
Yes.
For your residence.
Because my wife, she owned the property, and
Yeah.
I just pay the bills.
Yeah.
You know,
that was really the only process that 2 or 3 of the candidates had to go through. Some of the other candidates submitted leases or mortgage papers and things like that, but every candidate did have to provide proof of residence in the
So
city.
they had to get things notarized also?
So no, not that specific document. You had to do that because it's a legal affidavit that requires notarized. Someone else providing a signed legal document for a mortgage or a lease agreement did not have to have that notary. No, sir.
Because some things is just not right now, and I know that for a fact. That far as where people supposed to be living at and stuff like that is. And they lying. You know, that's why I just wanted to make it before I do what I have to do.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to make it sure that it's everything legit.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Deonte Clark, and I'm here to shed some light on, I would say, like the homeless situation here in Cambridge. I moved here 13 months ago for peace. And upon moving here, it's been pure hell. In 13 months, I had 3 units condemned, all for the same or similar, exact same reasons. I'm living at Calvin Mowbray, Stephen Camper. They're housed by a wind company. They moved me across the bridge in Howard County. I was told that I would be relocated to a sister property, and when I get up there, I had took them to court, put my rent in escrow, and Judge Drews ruled in my favor for the second court date. And since then, they stopped paying for the hotel as of October the 16th. So I've been homeless with my 4 children and my grandson. And I just renewed my lease for them until September of 2025. And I'm staying from place to place or in my vehicle most nights with my grandson and my 4 children.
Mr. Steckman, if you could speak with this lady after the meeting to see what we might be able to do to assist.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
If you can wait until the meeting finishes, let's have our city manager talk with you and see what assistance that might be available.
All right, thank you.